Have you noticed how many people live on autopilot when it comes to money? They wake up early, work hard the whole week, get paid, and the money disappears in the blink of an eye. It even seems like magic, right? But it's not good magic. It's the endless cycle: work, pay bills, and start over. But what if I told you that this cycle can be broken? Robert Kiyosaki, author of the bestseller Rich Dad, Poor Dad, teaches us that the big turning point between those who are always in the red and those who reach financial freedom is not in the amount of the salary, but in how you see money. Most people see the salary as an end, the final destination. The rich treat it as a starting point. Imagine this: you earn $3,000 per month. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? I have to pay rent, electricity, credit card, groceries, and that's it. The $3,000 are gone. But what if instead you thought, how can I turn these $3,000 into something bigger? How can this money start working for me? Believe me, this mindset shift is the first step to getting out of the survival cycle and starting to move toward financial independence. Many people think, with this salary, there's no way to get rich. But the rich think differently. They say, this salary is what I have now. How can I use it wisely to generate more? That is, they plant the seed of money instead of consuming it all in the month. That's what you need to understand. Your salary is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of a journey. And when you change your mindset, everything around you starts to change too. You start to see opportunities where you only saw bills before. And that, my friend, is what separates those who are always chasing money from those who one day make money chase them. Now that you've started to change the way you think about money, it's time to take another important step. Stop seeing your salary as a limit. Many people do this without even realizing it. They look at the amount they receive and think, I only earn $1,000 a month. That's what I have to manage with. But those who get rich see the salary differently, as a starting point, an initial fuel. It's not the destination, it's the beginning of the path. Let's imagine you earn $1,000 per month. It's not a fortune, of course, but it's also not a reason to settle. What you do with that money is what defines your future. Instead of thinking it's too little to do anything, the right thought is, how can I turn these $1,000 into something bigger over time? See, rich people use their salary as a tool. They don't live stuck to the amount they receive. They use part of what they earn to create new sources of income. It could be setting aside $50 or $100 a month to invest in something small, an online course that teaches you a new skill, a small business that works from home, or even simple and accessible investments like index funds. Yes, with $1,000 a month, it might seem hard at first. But the idea isn't to get rich overnight. It's to build a new path. And that path starts with the decision not to be limited by your salary. Those who cling to the thought, this is all I have, end up stuck. But those who think, this is what I start with, open the doors to growth. Remember, it's not about how much you earn. It's about how you use what you earn. Your salary is a seed. You can eat it now, or plant it to harvest much more in the future. If you're enjoying these tips so far, I want to invite you to become part of our exclusive member community. There, you'll have access to extra classes, exclusive content, and practical tips to improve your financial life continuously. It's a space designed for those who really want to grow, reach their goals, and transform their relationship with money in a consistent way. Besides, by joining this select group of members, you'll be able to share experiences, ask questions, and receive that support that makes all the difference on the journey toward financial freedom. And for those who are already in this community, I want to say a big thank you for the trust and for being part of this journey with us. You are the reason we continue creating quality content. Now, for those who aren't part of it yet, it's worth remembering that there will be 2 extra videos per month with tips and exclusive lessons. And over time, we'll increase that number to ensure you always have the best support to grow financially. If you want to take a step further and commit to your financial future, subscribe and come grow with us. This step is a turning point. Maybe you've even felt this yourself. That inner voice that says, with $1,000 a month, there's no way to save anything. Invest? Only if I earn double. This isn't for me. These thoughts are more common than you think, and they're extremely dangerous. You know why? Because they create an invisible barrier between you and prosperity. This is called a scarcity mindset. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that the way we think about money shapes our reality. When you say, "I can't," your mind automatically closes the doors to any solution. But if you change to, "How can I make this happen?" suddenly you start to see paths that previously seemed invisible. Let's take a simple example. Let's say that with your $1,000 a month, all the basic bills are taking up your budget. Instead of giving up on the idea of investing, you start to think differently. What if I cut weekend takeout and cook at home? What if I sell something I no longer use? What if I offer an online service in my free time? These questions open doors. It doesn't have to be anything grand at first. Sometimes just saving $25 a month is enough to start investing or to build an emergency fund. The point is, don't accept scarcity as something permanent. The scarcity mindset is like a blindfold. It makes you believe you're trapped when, in fact, there are dozens of small steps you can take now with what you already have. Swap "I can't" for "How can I?" Swap "This is impossible" for "How can I make this work with $1,000 a month?" This change is what takes ordinary people out of stagnation and puts them on the path to abundance. Maybe you're thinking, "Okay, I get that I need to change my mindset. I already know my salary is just the beginning, but with so little, what can I really do?" And here comes one of Robert Kiyosaki's most powerful pieces of advice. You don't need to start big. You just need to start. Most people believe they need a lot of money to invest. They say, "When I'm earning more, then I'll start." But what happens? Time passes, the salary increases a little, but expenses do too. And the excuse continues, "Still can't. Maybe next year." The truth? It never seems like the ideal time. And that's why those who start, even with little, are ahead. If you earn $1,000 a month, maybe you can only set aside $20 or $30 a month at first. Does it seem like a small amount? Maybe. But don't underestimate the power of habit. When you set that amount aside and direct it to something productive, like an investment, an emergency fund, or even a course that will generate income, in the future, you're doing something much bigger than you realize. You're training your mind and building financial discipline. Let's imagine you set aside $25 per month. In a year, that's $300. It may seem small, but think about what that amount represents. It's startup capital for a micro business. It's the cost of a good online course that can increase your income. It's the foundation to invest in stocks or index funds. It's the peace of mind knowing that if something unexpected happens, you're not left with nothing. Also, by starting small, you get the hang of it. Feel more confident, more motivated, and when you have the chance to invest more, you'll already be prepared. And there's more. When you develop the habit of saving, even if you're earning little, you're already doing what many people who earn $5,000 or even $10,000 a month still don't do. Yes, many people with high salaries can't save anything because they never created this habit from the start. So if today you can start with $5, $10, $20, start. If today the only possible step is to open a spreadsheet, see where your money is going, and set aside a little for something productive, do it. Because in the end, those who start small but start consistently always go further than those who wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Remember, the secret is not the amount, it's the consistency. Here is one of the cornerstones for anyone who wants to get out of financial stagnation and build wealth from their salary, especially for those earning around $1,000 a month. Learning to control your money and not letting money control you. Have you ever stopped to think about how many small purchases you make daily, sometimes without even realizing it? A coffee here, a snack there, a promotion that seems irresistible but, in fact, you didn't need. These are expenses that seem insignificant when seen in isolation, but by the end of the month, they can add up to hundreds of dollars thrown away. Imagine you spend $3 on coffee every weekday. That adds up to about $60 a month. Seems small. Now imagine what you could do with those $60. It may seem like a small detail, but it's a real example of what Kiyosaki calls a financial leak money that escapes without you noticing. That's why the first thing you need to do is create the habit of thinking before spending. A simple but powerful rule is the 24-hour rule. When you want to buy something non-essential, wait 24 hours before deciding. Many times, the desire passes, and you avoid spending money on something that won't bring real value to your life. Now, besides this rule, you need an even stronger ally, the monthly budget. But what is that? A budget is like a map of your money. It shows where every dollar is going, from fixed bills like rent and electricity to leisure and food expenses. If you've never made a budget before, the first feeling might be, wow, this seems complicated. I don't have time for this. But believe me, it's simpler than it seems and makes all the difference. Start by writing down everything you spend during a month. Every coffee, every transport, every bill. Then divide these expenses into categories: essentials, fixed expenses, leisure, and investments. For example, with a $1,000 salary, you might divide like this: $500 for rent and essential bills, $200 for food, $100 for transport, $50 for leisure, $150 for savings and investments. And of course, this budget is a guide, not a prison. It's there so you can have control and the freedom to make better decisions. When you know exactly where your money is going, it becomes much easier to avoid waste and find space to invest in yourself and your future. More than that, controlling your expenses gives you a feeling of security and peace. You're no longer in the dark, worried about running out of money at the end of the month, because you already know exactly how your money is working. Now, the most important part of all this is you're taking control of your financial life. And that is liberating. And it's not just about cutting expenses, it's about prioritizing what really matters to you. If you value spending time with family, maybe giving up an expensive streaming subscription is a small price to pay. If you want to invest in your own business, maybe saving on dining out is a necessary step. Remember, every cent saved consciously is a step toward your financial freedom. If you can keep this control, avoid impulse spending, and create a budget that truly works for you, you'll be taking a huge step in the right direction. Here's a concept that may seem simple, but many people take years to truly understand. It doesn't matter how much you earn, but how you manage what you earn. Think about this. You can earn $1,000 a month or $10,000, but if you don't have control over your money, it will disappear quickly, like water through your fingers. Many people with high salaries live in the red because they simply don't know how to manage their money. They spend more than they earn, accumulate debt, and get stuck in a vicious cycle of financial worry. Robert Kiyosaki says the secret lies in cash flow. That is, in controlling what comes in and what goes out. The focus isn't just on earning more, because let's be honest, earning more isn't always something that depends only on you. but rather doing the best with what you already have in your hands. Let's look at a practical example for someone earning $1,000 per month. Imagine you receive your salary, pay your bills, and have $100 left to spend however you like. You can spend it all quickly without thinking and be left with nothing at the end of the month. Or you can plan, use that $100 to pay a debt, invest a part, save another for emergencies. Doing this may seem hard at first, but here comes a secret. Money likes those who take care of it. When you create the habit of controlling your financial flow, you start noticing opportunities you didn't see before. For example, negotiating a debt to pay less interest, buying something in cash to save, or realizing that daily coffee can be replaced by something cheaper. Moreover, controlling the flow helps you avoid the famous high-income trap, which is earning more but also spending more, leaving your finances stressed and with no real growth prospects. Another very important thing, financial control is not just for hard times. It's a tool for you to build wealth and freedom. The better you understand and master your money flow, the faster you'll be able to invest, create other sources of income, and make your money work for you, not the other way around. And remember, money is a tool, not an end. What you do with it is what will determine your freedom. So don't get stuck in the idea that you need to earn a lot to start changing your financial life. Start right now controlling your cash flow, understand where every dollar is going, and make conscious choices. This control is the foundation for anyone who wants to build real wealth. Now that you're already learning to control your expenses and understand your cash flow, it's time to put discipline into action with a simple, practical, and powerful rule, the famous 30% rule. This rule says that you should divide your salary into 3 equal parts of 10% for 3 fundamental goals, 10% for savings. This is the money you set aside for emergencies, that reserve that ensures you don't need to go into debt if something unexpected happens, like a medical expense or an urgent repair. Savings brings security and peace of mind because you know you have a safety net. 10% for investments. Here, the idea is to make your money work for you. Instead of just saving, you put your money into applications that can grow over time, like stocks, real estate funds, bonds, or even small businesses. Investing is the step that turns your salary into a real wealth-building machine. 10% for personal development. This is one of the points that most distinguishes those who truly prosper. Investing in yourself, whether through courses, books, workshops, training, or even mental and physical health, increases your potential to earn more in the future. Remember, the best investment you can make is in your own development. Let's imagine your salary is $1,000 per month. The 30% rule suggests you set aside $100 for an emergency fund, $100 to invest in something that makes your money grow, $100 to improve your knowledge, skills, and well-being. If you can follow this rule even partially at first, you'll be building a solid, balanced, and smart financial foundation. It might seem hard to set aside $300 every month, especially if your budget is already tight. But the idea isn't to start with everything at once. You can adapt the rule. Start by setting aside 5% for each area, for example, and increase gradually as your situation improves. The most important thing here is discipline and consistency. When you commit to these 30%, you create a virtuous cycle. Security, growth, and development, all working together to take you far along the path to financial freedom. This balance avoids the famous roller coaster effect of personal finances, that emotional up and down, where sometimes we spend everything, sometimes save too much, but never find stability. And beyond that, the 30% rule also helps you stay focused and clear-minded. By having clear goals for your money, you stop being a slave to impulses and emergencies and start directing your resources to what really matters. Think about it. Those who are disciplined enough to follow this rule are actually creating habits that will transform not only their bank balance, but their entire life. More security, more opportunities, and much more peace of mind. Here is the final key that ties everything we've talked about so far together. Start where you are, with what you have, and never stop moving forward. Many people feel that in order to change their financial life, they need large sums of money, or that they can only start investing once they earn a high salary. That's a myth, and one of the biggest enemies of wealth. If you earn $1,000 a month and setting aside 30% feels impossible, start small. How about saving $50 or even $25? What matters isn't the initial amount, but building the habit. Because that's what makes all the difference. Consistency. It's no use making a big investment today and then doing nothing for months, or saving a lot one month and spending everything without control the next. The secret lies in daily discipline, in the commitment to manage your money every day, every month, no matter the amount. Consistency produces real results. It's like planting a tree. At first, it may seem like nothing is growing, but with care, daily watering, and patience, it grows, bears fruit, and provides shade. Your money works the same way. Even small amounts invested regularly over time can turn into a great fortune. Moreover, starting with what's possible helps you build confidence. You start to understand your money, feel more secure in making decisions, and build a winning mindset. Remember, wealth isn't about luck, it's about smart habits that you create and maintain. And those habits begin with small steps you can take today, right now. So don't wait for the perfect moment, it might never come. Start now with what you have and make taking care of your money a daily commitment. Financial freedom is a journey built step by step, with patience and perseverance. Don't be discouraged if results take time to show, because with every step, you're getting closer to your goal. And when you look back, you'll be amazed at how far you've come, all because you chose to take action today. So, what did you think of these 8 steps to getting rich on your salary, according to Robert Kiyosaki? Remember, it all starts with your mindset, your money management, and most importantly, your daily actions. It doesn't matter if you earn a little or a lot. What truly makes the difference is how you use what you have, with discipline and consistency. Start small, start now, and stay focused. Financial freedom is within reach for those who choose to take real care of their money. If this content made sense to you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next tips, and share this video with someone you know who needs to hear this. And remember, if you'd like to receive extra lessons and exclusive tips to further improve your financial life, you can become a member of our community. A big thank you to those who are already part of this group. And for those who aren't yet, here's your invitation. Come grow with us. Let's walk this journey together towards smart wealth and financial freedom. See you in the next video.